Welcome to the final of my Postcard podcasts relating to the postcards that accompany my Surface Noise EP. We'll begin by examining the final postcard, which is this one here. So the postcard itself depicts the surface of a vinyl record, and if you look very, very closely, you can tell which one. No, you'd actually have to play it to tell which one, so I'll let you know. It's Cold Fact by Rodriguez. And the thing I like about this photo is that it looks like it's black and white, but it's actually full colour because the record's black and the light was white. That's all there is to it, really. On the back of the postcard, I have all the credits for who performed what on the album. And big thanks to everyone who was on there. Beneath the photo, of course, I have the quote from John Peel, which inspired the whole surface noise concept. Somebody was trying to tell me that CDs are better than vinyl because they don't have any surface noise. I said, listen mate, life has surface noise. So my whole surface noise concept is based on that John Peel quote. And to my mind, all recorded music that's on vinyl or tape or CD is by its very nature a form of surface noise because you're extracting noise from a surface. Even with the digital surface where it's not actually being physically touched, there is a laser that's reading bits and bumps in the surface of the disc. And with records, obviously you've got a stylus going through a groove, and with tape you're running the tape over a tape head producing hiss, so that's the kind of surface noise you get with those. But surface noise could also mean the hum of the universe. It could be the noise that humanity makes and superimposes upon the world, the sounds of your own bloodstream and nervous system. If you go into a silent room that's totally soundproofed and anechoic, I think is the word, you will hear the high-pitched sound of your nervous system and a low-pitched sound of your blood circulation. And that's something that John Cage discovered when he was on his quest to find silence. And of course, John Cage himself did the classic composition 4 minutes 33 seconds, where a musician, initially just a pianist sitting at a piano, but later performances included entire orchestras, would sit still for 4 minutes 33 seconds. And the thing is, in that space, there was never any actual silence because there would be the creaking of beams, the sound of rain on the roof, people being restless in their seats, all of those kind of things. So there was never any actual silence. It was all some form of surface noise. So why postcards? Well, initially I was going to put this EP out on CD, but I realised that people don't really buy CDs that much anymore, and it's a bit of a hard push, and so I thought I'll just make it an online download. And then I thought, but with that you miss the tangible artifact of an album cover. And so from that I started to look at how I could possibly have some kind of physical artifact to represent the EP. And it was my wife Sue who said, what about postcards? And it was thanks to our friend Juliet McLean, who had sent me a copy of a recent EP of hers and included a postcard with it just to thank us. And that was just sitting on our mantelpiece right in front of us, and we thought, postcards. And from that I came up with the idea of putting the lyrics on the back of each postcard and then having an extra postcard for the credits. and that way you actually get 6 album covers instead of 1. So you can buy the postcards along with the download directly from Bandcamp, or over the counter at Vinyl Countdown. But download codes inside the copies that are available there. Or you can just buy the postcards separately and stream the song. But you'll have the lyrics, you'll have the credits, you'll have cover art. And each of the images on the postcards represents some form of external factor disrupting or distorting, disturbing, in some way informing the visual representation of that particular surface. And so I've got light, reflections, shadows, misshaping, colouring, and things even growing on them. Of course there were outtakes along the way, and afterwards as well. So many images where I thought that would have made a great postcard, but there could only be 6. And so here are some of the things that came my way along the way, and even some video ideas that might work with surface noise as well. There were some shadows at the R.S. Van Herpen exhibition at the Gallery of Modern Art in Brisbane that I took a shine to. There was a locker that we saw in an op shop with lovely rusted handle on it, but I thought that was going to end up too bright, particularly with the background I chose to go with it. Little tip here, all the postcards, that the backgrounds and the borders on them all use colours that are within that particular image somewhere, except perhaps the cream on this one. We saw this lovely doormat in Stratford. That was quite a revelation. That was really quite tempting, and that was a few weeks before I printed the postcards, but no, I stuck with what I had. And there are also Sue's garage door. I took a couple of images of that. I mean, that looks amazing. And even since then, there have been some images from the reflections on the floor at the Givette Brewster, a shadow on the wall that was right here behind the monitor. Then there are the beautiful video images that I saw. This rain on the roof of a covered walkway outside the Percy Thompson Gallery in Stratford that kind of reflected into, or I guess it's shadows of it really, in the pavement beneath. This video, I don't often take bedroom videos. This is my bedroom wall with the sunlight shining in through the trees and the water lapping at the port, which I used in my initial promotional video for Surface Noise. That pretty well wraps up this final postcard podcast. So thanks for tuning in and watching this series, and feel free to share them among your friends. And I'd like to thank all the musicians and singers who appeared on the Surface Noise EP with me. I couldn't have done it without you, and you'll all get named in the credits, so stick around for that. And big thanks also to Chris Foreman for recording the string quartet and the woodwinds and the timpani and the French horn and the grand piano, and also for rescuing me in the final stages, because for some stupid reason I decided I would master this myself, and that goes against all the advice that you read anywhere, you hear from any recording engineers and producers. Don't master your own stuff, and Chris did a brilliant job after I had spent about a week tearing my hair out. And finally, I'd love to thank my beautiful wife Sue, who made this fantastic photo that became the first postcard in the series. And so thanks to Sue, and thanks to all of you, and I'll leave you with Sue's beautiful image.